look for today. So I just got home from work. I'm not too tired as I usually am because I think I got a few hours of sleep last night, but I still haven't been sleeping the best. But this past week has been a little better. Like, I've gotten some sleep, like certain days. There might have been like at least 2 days though that I still didn't really sleep. So it's on and off. Sleep will come, sleep won't. Usually it doesn't. So I don't know, dude. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I used the Clarins Lip Oil, and then I set my eyes with the I'm looking for my eyeshadow palette and I put it back there. Sorry. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I did just go into one single shadow first though, because I wanted something a little bit more neutral rather than like the yellowy shade that was in the palette that I used. So I went into the single shadow from ColourPop in the shade Bel Air. I actually used one of them. Oh my god, it's a miracle. And then for my eyeshadow palette, for the rest of the look, I just went into the Ace Beauté Aura palette because I really wanted to use this one. And I went into Nimbus to like darken up the defining area. And then for the outer corners, I used Sultry. And then for the lid, I just went into Moonlight. So I only ended up using 3 shades from this palette. But I forgot like how good the quality is, and it's just so pretty that you don't really need that many shades from this palette. So that's all I used. I probably will use this palette like maybe next week or the week after that to get a little bit more use out of it. And then for my highlight on the inner corners, I just went into Nylon from MAC because I just wanted like a lighter shade, because again, like that palette only has like a gold and like a yellow, and I didn't want to wear gold today. I wanted to keep it very light and neutral, almost a little bit more cool tone. But I feel like with the Ace Beauté palettes, they're cool tone without being like gray, which I actually really like. Like the cool tones that are actually in here are just like cool tone browns, but they're not like too gray. It's just a really beautiful palette. I dropped the plastic inserts. The struggle is real. Okay, and then for my brow bone highlight, I just went into the Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone, because what else is new? And then for my liner, I just, oh, why am I putting that over there? What am I doing? I went into the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade Brown. And then for my mascara, I just went into the Essence Lash Primer. And then I went into the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. And then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation, I went into the Makeup by Mario foundation, the Surreal Skin foundation in the shade 1C. And then for my concealer, I went into the coinciding concealer in the shade 120. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Dior powder again. And then for my bronzer, I've actually been going into this bronzer quite a bit. I went into the Dior bronzer again in the shade Tan Bronze. I've just been feeling it lately, so I've just been using that. And then for my blush, I went into an oldie but a goodie. I went into the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Blush in the shade Desert Orchid. I haven't used any of my Pat McGrath blushes in quite a while, so I wanted to just go in with this one. It's one of my all-time favorites. And then my face feels a little dry though, so I'm going to be taking my makeup off in like 5 minutes anyway, so yeah. And then for my highlight, I actually went into a loose highlighter from ColourPop. I love this highlighter. This has been one of my favorite loose highlighters for a long time. Oh my god, if I can get it out of here. This is the Luster Dust In the Groove Loose Powder Highlighter. I like keeping the packaging for most of my stuff. I feel like I just like keep track of things better in my collection if it has like a box. And also like I just love the outer packaging. So I don't know if that's weird, but like I said, I usually keep a lot of the outer boxes for eyeshadow palettes just because they stay cleaner that way. Like, my Modern Renaissance palette does not look as bad as everybody else's ones do because I kept the box. So, yeah, just they do keep them a lot cleaner. So yeah, I love this highlighter. This is so beautiful. I wish they still made these because these are some of the most beautiful loose highlighters I've ever used, and they're so cheap. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup setting spray, and then I set my brows with the Essence Brow Gel. And then for my lips, let me see. I went into the Makeup by Mario lipstick in the shade Sierra. And that's everything I used as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I am still reading Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Obviously, this book is really long, but I've gotten really, really far. I'm actually in the middle of listening to this chapter, but after I finish it, I will be on page 422. So I've gotten through another 300 pages since I made my last update because I've mostly been listening to the audiobook. I mean, I probably have read maybe over 100 pages, but I read like, how much did I read today? I think like 50-ish pages or more. But also I've been like listening to it. If I can't sleep in the morning, I'll just put it on my AirPods and just listen to a couple of chapters as I'm like laying in bed, because sometimes if I sit up, then I usually get too sleepy while I'm reading it physically. So I already made my reading goal for today as well, because tomorrow, like I said, I'm not going to have that much time to read this tomorrow because I'm going to the beach. And I'm going to be out for like the majority of the day. So, but yeah, I already made my reading goal for today. So I wanted to get up to page 200. 400. Yesterday, I think I got up to page 234 last night. And now I'm on 422. So that's almost 200 pages today too. So for people that say audiobooks aren't really reading, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it just pisses me off so much. But this book is so good. I don't know if I'm as obsessed with this one as I was with the first and second Magnolia Parks books. But I am really enjoying it still. It's just like there's not as much of Magnolia and BJ toxicity in this one because they are technically together in this one. But we're going to find out why they end, because that's all I've been hearing about this book is why they, can't be together anymore. Is like, it's basically the end of their relationship. And I keep on seeing that. I kind of wish I didn't know that. But at the same time, like, it's still, they're having some trust issues right now, but you still don't know what's going to break them up, like, specifically. And you think they're going to be together, like, forever in this one, but I guess we'll find out. That's why I've been going through it so quickly, because I just want to find out why they end up breaking up in the end. So, yeah, I'm addicted. I love this series so much. And then I also did pick up 3 books from Target just now. I just went to Target. I wasn't intending on picking up more than just one, but let me explain myself. So the one I wanted to get, I keep on eyeing this one. So I picked up The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. I cannot. Why do they always put the damn stickers over the author's names? It's so annoying. Kirsty something. I don't know what her last name is, but I keep on seeing this book, and I've actually seen quite a bit of like people I don't remember who read this recently that gave it a really good review, but I've been seeing really good things about it, so I decided to pick this one up. And it just sounds really, really good. And most people said that even though it's like about the afterlife, it's a really short read. It's like 370. And also it's not supposed to be like that sad. Like the way that somebody explained it made me really intrigued to pick it up and read it. But I've eyed it like every single time that I've went to Target recently. So like I just finally decided to pick it up. And that was going to be the only book that I got But these two, this one I've been eyeing for quite a while as well. And I didn't know that the sequel had just come out. So I picked up both of them because they're such beautiful books and covers. And also they're really short. And the font is like really big. But they're just thin, beautiful books. So I picked up The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. But look at this spine. I mean, not the spine. Look at the print. Isn't it gorgeous? And the inside cover. I mean, the inside, that's not the inside cover. Don't mind me. The inside design and the actual cover, they're absolutely stunning. So I picked up this one. This one's actually been on my TBR for a little while. But the sequel just came out like 2 weeks ago. I didn't see this one at Target the last time I was there, but this one is The Darkness Within Us. And this one I actually saw had better reviews than the first one, but look at the design. Aren't they so beautiful? And then again, the map inside. So I don't know. I feel like these are going to be a good time. This one's actually even shorter. Actually, I think they're both only 300 pages. So I feel like I could fly through this. Oh, wow. There's a preview for the next one. Oh, no. It's the first draft of this book. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Very cool. So yeah, that's what I picked up. I'm going to go now because I have to get up earlier tomorrow to make it to the beach because I just want to say this one thing. So I've been like really good friends with my friend's sister for like quite a long time. But there's just been like some things that she's been doing lately that's been kind of like annoying me. And I don't know. I'm not going to say anything else. It's just like I'm getting annoyed at some of my friends lately. And it's like all I am is nice to people. And it kind of pisses me off when like you're pointing out something that annoys you about me in a group chat. It's like, why don't you just text me about it and tell me? Like, why do you have to say it like to kind of embarrass me in a group chat, you know? It's just like kind of fucked up. And it's like, again, I try to be nothing but nice to people. And I feel like, you know, if you're too nice to people, they just end up shitting on you. So I'm gonna go. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I kind of had a bit of spontaneous plans today because me and my best friend went and saw Deadpool earlier, the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, and it was so fucking good. I loved it. Exceeded all my expectations. I knew it was going to be great, but it was hysterical. They made so many jokes about Fox. It was just hysterical. I loved it. But he said that he was going to see it with his mom. But then I asked him, like, aren't you seeing it with her? And he's like, no, I don't feel like seeing it with her anymore. So we ended up seeing it. And it was just great. I loved it. Just fucking fantastic. I love Deadpool. I've always loved Deadpool. So yeah, I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer. And then I used the Clarins Lip Oil. And then I set my eyes with a ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. I did get invited to something today, but it was all the way in Brooklyn. And I'm like, I'm not fucking driving all the way over there. But I'm like, movies with my friend, that's a lot more doable. It's only 15 minutes away or like less than that. And it was great. And he had like a work thing later on, like basically now. So like we had to see it during the day. So we went at like 2. We were talking about it at like 12:30 and I was like, I thought you were seeing it with your mom. He's like, oh, I should have been more clear. And I was like, yeah. I was like, why didn't you just tell me? I was like, I would have been totally down to see it because I really didn't have any plans today. I was just going to like sit and read all day and then just like run a couple of errands. But I'm so glad we saw the movie today. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I went into the Bella Beauté Bar The Sun and the Sea palette. I only had like a half hour to get ready, so I just threw on like 2 mattes. I used Overexposed in the crease, and then I just used Beach Babe to darken it up and on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I just went into Sunset because I wanted like the more reddish shade because we were seeing Deadpool. Obviously, he wears red. And then for the brow bone, I used tan lines. And then for the inner corners, I wanted to tie in a bit of like the blue in the shirt. So I went into Tide Pool to add a bit of blue on the inner corners. Or was it Siren? I think it was Tide Pool. But I love this palette. I try to use it as much as I can. And it was like the perfect palette to use with this. Because like I wasn't even sure what I was going to wear. I just threw on this Lady and the Tramp t-shirt. And I was like, I'm set. And then I just went in with the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade black. And then for my mascara, I just used the Lancome Hypnose mascara. And then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then I didn't want to go in with like a super heavy foundation today. Also because today was hotter than yesterday when I went to the beach. Today was like almost 90 degrees. It was really hot, so I'm glad we were just inside watching Deadpool. So I went into my Makeup Forever combo. I used the HD Skin Foundation in the shade 1RO2 and the coinciding concealer in the shade 1.1N. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into, because I wanted something light on the skin as well. I didn't want to go in with a heavy powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Haus Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush and highlight, I just went into the palettes that were in front of me because I only had like 10 minutes at that point. So I went into the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Bare Cheeks blush palette into the shade Making Me Blush, and it's just like a really pretty orangey peachy shade. And then for my highlight, I just went into, if I could close this, that would be marvelous. I went into the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Noctilucent palette, of course, and I used the shade Enlighten. I use this shade like so often, and it's just beautiful. It works every single time. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the Essence Brow Gel. So I feel like the e.l.f. one is getting pretty dried out at this point. And then for my lips, I just threw on a regular lip bead. So I just went into my Merit lipstick in the shade Antibes. Can never say this one. So that's everything as far as my makeup goes. I wasn't even going to wear makeup today. So, and I only had, like I said, like a half hour to do my makeup. So I just threw this on, and I think it turned out really pretty. And then as far as a reading update goes, I did finish Magnolia Park's Into the Dark last night. I can't believe I finished it in 3 days. I just could not stop. I needed to know what happened at the end of Magnolia and BJ's journey in the Magnolia Park series, and I loved it. I gave it a 4.75 out of 5 stars. I still loved the first book and the third book like forever. Like I loved those books so much. Those books like just live in me for forever. I just think that those ones were my favorites of the series. The Daisy Hates books were not. And but this book was still really great. There was just like some things I just felt like it still like kept my interest the entire time. I still loved the whole thing. It's just I didn't love it as much as the first and the third, but I still loved it. I still rounded it up to a 5 stars on Goodreads, but I gave it a 4.75. So it's a very, very generous 4.75, almost like 4.9 to be honest, but probably should just say 5 stars. But I loved it so much. It was so good. I was sobbing at one point, like crying my eyes out listening to the audiobook. Like all 3 of the Magnolia Parks books have made me cry. The 2 Daisy Hates ones have not. So yeah. And then I decided to jump into this book. I actually picked this up I think it was like 2 days ago at Target, and I've been eyeing this one for the past like couple of weeks. So I decided to go with this one because for some reason I had such a strong urge to read this one once I finished the Magnolia Park series. I know I said I was going to read a thriller, but I did stick to my TBR basically this entire month. And I kind of wanted to read a new release, and a lot of people are talking about this book. So I decided to start The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. I just needed something like lighthearted, not as like heavy as Magnolia Parks is. Like it's not too heavy, but I didn't want to like fully invest in like something that like takes a lot of my attention. I just wanted something really lighthearted and fun. So, so far this is really cute. I just started it today because, like I said, like, I didn't have that much time to read today because I had to get ready to go to the movies, but I'm only on page 26, but I'm intending on reading for the rest of the night, and so far, I think that this is just so much fun. I just wanted to pick like some 350, 360 page books for the end of this month, so I can probably finish at least 2 more books before the month is over, because that's 5 days, so I should be able to finish 2 books by that point. So I'll read for the rest of the night tonight, and then I should finish this by tomorrow night because I just have work tomorrow, and then I'll be home for the rest of the night. So far I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye. So hey there guys, want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today, but I am filming the clip the day after, but I just didn't have any time to film the clip the day before, so I did go to the beach with my friends. I got there at like 12:30, and we spent like a good 3 hours there, and then we went back to her house and had burgers and hot dogs and chilled in the pool and drank. That's what we usually do in the summertime if we go to the beach. So this is now the second time I've been to the beach this summer. So I wanted to do a pretty light makeup look. I wasn't even going to wear eyeshadow, but I honestly thought I wasn't going to be doing anything today, but I ended up having like spontaneous plans that it wasn't anything like that spontaneous. I just decided to see a movie with my best friend that we wanted to see in the worst way anyway, but again, you'll see that in the next clip. So yeah, it was great. So, but I did end up wearing eyeshadow on the beach day because, again, I wasn't sure if I was even going to be wearing makeup the next day, but then I ended up throwing makeup on because I still went out. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I just used the Kulfi Concealer for my primer because I didn't even use eyeshadow primer because I didn't really feel like it. I just used the Do It Spray and the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer, and then I went in with the Cali Ray Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint in the shade The One. And then I went into the Kulfi Concealer as like my eye primer and my concealer. I love this concealer so much. Like, honestly, over every other concealer that I have, I reach for this one all the time. Literally use it at least 3 times a week. I just love it so much, and I think I'm just going to use up this concealer completely this year because I love it. I just can't get enough of it. This is probably my favorite concealer I've ever used. I think it's just amazing. It's so easy to use, and I love it. And then I just set my under eyes and my eyes with the House Labs powder. And then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, for the beach, I just went into the ColourPop Golden Hour palette, and I just took like 3 shades from this. I just went into Never Leaving in the crease, and then I just went into Golden Waves on the lid just because I wanted a little bit of that glitter. And then I just went into Glimmer on the inner corners. I cannot believe how much I've actually used this palette this year. This has become like my staple neutral palette for like the whole year. I use this palette at least 3 to 4 times a month. Like, I just love it, which is a lot for me because I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but I just love this palette. It's just such a good palette. And it's funny how it was like the one palette from ColourPop that I wasn't sure I was going to get. But sign me up for golden tone, warm tone eyeshadows, obviously. And I love it so much. And then I just went into the LA Girl liner in the shade White. And then I just went into the ColourPop Level Up mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then what did I use for my bronzer? I think I just used the Milani bronzer in the shade Dolce. I'm pretty sure that's what I used. And then blush, I think I just went into Max Melba. I don't need to show you guys that again. I use it so much. And then for my highlighter, I went into this ColourPop Winnie the Pooh highlighter in the shade 100 Acre Wood, just because I felt like using that. And then I set my face with the makeup setting spray, and then I set my brows with the with the Essence brow blush gel, or whatever it's called, the Essence brow gel. And then for my lips, where did I put it? Let's see. I went into just my e.l.f. sheer stick again. I freaking love this thing. I use it so much. So I went into the e.l.f. sheer stick in the shade Golden Pear. And yeah, that's it. That's all I did because I was just going to the beach. So yeah, that's it. Bye. And I did continue reading Magnolia Parks to finish it last night, and I did. So I'll just update you guys about that in the next clip. But that's all I read last night was that, and then I started another book today. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hi. So I'm just gonna film this clip really quick because I realized that I said in this last makeup clip that I just told you that I was gonna update you about Magnolia Parks Into the Dark in the next clip, but for some reason I didn't. I don't know if I didn't wear makeup the next day and maybe I just didn't say anything and probably just wore makeup the next day, but like I remember I went to the beach and then I'm pretty sure I finished Magnolia Parks the night before, and I don't know if I even wore makeup that day. I might have not even went anywhere. So that's probably why I didn't say anything. I'm not sure why I said I was going to update you in the next clip. But anyway, I just wanted to give my rating of Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I gave it a 5 stars, of course. And these are like older clips because like I'm filming this clip like 2 hours later, obviously. Like 2 weeks later because I read Magnolia Parks like the 3rd week of July and right now it's the 2nd week of August. I'm just like falling behind with these Everyday Makeup Lookbook videos, but yeah, I love the series as a whole and made me cry my eyes out. I am going to do a book tour very soon. I wanted to do it today, but honestly I was too tired and I have to start getting ready soon to meet one of my friends. So yeah. So anyway, just wanted to say that I loved that book. And then I go into the next book that I started, I think that night. And then I, continued reading that book the next day. But I don't know why I never said anything about how I felt about Magnolia Parks. But obviously I loved it. So I don't know. I don't know why I didn't say it in the next clip. I think it's because I went to see Deadpool. Or maybe hold on. No, I just never said anything about it. So just saying I loved it. So let's continue on with the video. Okay, so hey there guys. I just wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I just got home from work like an hour ago and had dinner with my family. And now I'm probably just going to read for the rest of the night. I'm pretty tired now. I mean, what else is new? But it's only like 7 o'clock and I actually really want to finish this book because I'm really loving it. So I prime my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I use the Clarins Lip Oil, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I decided to go back into the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast palette. I actually haven't used this in a little while, so I keep on forgetting that I actually own it because I keep on keeping it in my box to haul this stuff at some point because I haven't really bought much makeup in the past couple of months, and I finally bought some stuff at Sephora yesterday in the last couple of weeks. And I also have like 2 orders from ColourPop, like the Beauty and the Beast collection and the Pokemon stuff that I bought. So now I can finally like share all that stuff at some point. I'm not sure when I'm going to have the time, but probably like later this week. So I went into Kind Hearted in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Beast. And then I used West Wing on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into Curious Mind. This is not what I wore to work, but I was just, I wanted to change when I got home because I was wearing white jeans. And we had ribs for dinner, and I didn't exactly want to wear white jeans when we were eating ribs because I didn't want them to get stained. So I changed into like what I normally wear when I get home. But I was wearing like my baby blue peasant top, so I went into the ColourPop liner in the shade Prance to like pick up that blue color in my shirt, and then I went into the shade Book Lover on the inner corners from the palette, so like it would be that little pop of blue, and it like turned out really pretty. So I'm glad that I used this today. And then I went into Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I went into the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 050 Fair Cool. And then for my concealer, I went into the Haus Labs concealer in the shade 01 Fair Neutral. And then I set my under eyes with the Haus Labs powder, and then I set my face, no, the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the, what did I use in my face? The Dior powder. I think I set my eyes with the Dior powder too. I didn't use the ColourPop one, sorry. And then for my bronzer, I just went into the Makeup by Mario bronzer in the shade Light because I just wanted to use it today. And then for my blush, I went into a new blush that I bought from Sephora yesterday. And I bought another shade in the Makeup by Mario cream blushes because I think this formula, I feel like it's so underrated. This is my favorite cream blush formula I think I've ever tried at Sephora. It's just such a beautiful, easy, gliding on pigmented formula. It's so beautifully creamy on the skin, but it just literally slides onto your face and it's on. And then it like doesn't move for like the whole day. So I really wanted to get another shade in these, and I think that he came out with this shade and a couple of new shades like last month or like maybe like this past summer, because I don't think he came out with this shade in the original launch. I think he added a couple of shades because I don't remember this one being one of the shade options when I first picked them up, because I picked up the peach one. And then I saw this one in Sephora yesterday and I was like, I'm 100% picking up a nudie blush. So I got that one. Because like I said, I went to see Deadpool with my friend yesterday, and then I went to the mall because I had to get gas. But I also had to pick up my Beauty Blender cleanser because I ran out of that. So I decided to pick up a few, just like 4 makeup items and like actually 3 things that I needed backups of. And then just like 3 new blushes. So, and like 1 new lipstick. So I really haven't been going crazy with makeup this year. So trying to stay on a strict low buy because I really don't need another damn thing. I've been buying too many books instead of makeup. So for my highlight, I went into the Too Faced highlighter in the shade, this is the Rainbow Effect highlighter. This is from their old ass rainbow collection. And then I set my face with the, actually the Unicorn collection. Who remembers the Unicorn collection from Too Faced? That was probably like back in like 2018, 2019. So, and it was just super cute. But that's when I like had already stopped buying from Too Faced, and I would only buy from them if I found them at Marshall's. Now I don't even remember the last time I went to Marshall's to look for makeup, because that section is so gross. Like, people are animals and they just, you know, it's just horrible. Like, I don't really shop at Marshall's anymore. I'd rather go to a used bookstore than going to Marshall's. So, if they had used books, though, I'd probably go there more often. But I don't know if they do. Let me know in the comments, whoever the hell watches this video. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the Essence Brow Gel. And then for my lips, I just went into a ColourPop Luxe lipstick. This is from the Star Wars collection. It's in the shade Dark Lord. This is one of my all-time favorite lippies from them. So I just wanted to, like, an easy nude to throw on. I didn't have time to wear a liner again. Like, same thing as yesterday. I just threw on my lipstick and left the house. But the movie didn't even start until 2:30 anyway. But yeah, it was still a good weekend. I went to the beach Friday, and then Saturday I went to the movies. So it was still a good weekend. And that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, like I said, I am still reading The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I had just started it yesterday because I literally just filmed the clip of my makeup when I had just gotten back from the movies, and then I hadn't been able to really read much of this, but I got another 200 pages in, so now I'm on page 225, so I'm going to finish this tonight. I'm just going to binge it, and I'm loving this so far. They still haven't even kissed yet, but I just think that this is just such a fun, easy, hysterical, fun time. I've just been having such a great time with this. It's so funny. And I think that this was just the perfect little fluffy read. And I feel like I'm going to recommend this to like anyone that just needs a light summer read. This is absolutely perfect for you. And like so many people are actually reading this book on Goodreads right now. So I'm kind of happy that I decided to read this before the month is over. And I've just been loving it. I really love the main character, Delphi. I think she's so funny. She's just such a socially awkward person. She's also a virgin, which is not like a huge deal, but like she like has never even had a boyfriend before. She's never even really dated before. She's just such a socially awkward person. She got like extremely bullied in high school though, and that kind of like closed her off from like really having more emotional attachments to people or having like real true friendships or anything like that. But throughout this story, she, really starts living her life because like she really has just been living a very closed off, very secluded type of life. And basically she dies in the beginning. And, she's in the afterlife and she has like almost like a social worker in the underworld, kind of like similar to like Beetlejuice in a way. But Delphi just keeps on making me laugh. So like she gets a second chance at life, and the one that is helping her, I think her name is, what is her name? Harriet or something like that. I can't remember her name. But she like brings her back to the world. And she has to, like, get her soulmate to fall in love with her in, like, 10 days. And it kind of reminds me of, like, The Little Mermaid, where you need your prince to kiss you before the sun sets on the 10th day, pretty much. And it kind of reminds me of Little Mermaid, where, Ariel had to kiss the prince before the sun set on the 3rd day. So it's just a cute little twist. It kind of reminds me of The Good Place and a little bit of The Little Mermaid combined, but I love that show, The Good Place, and anything that's like that in a book form, I'm in love with it. And also somebody complimented my cover today. This is just like the cutest cover ever. Like, how could you be sad looking at this cover? It's so adorable. It looks like cotton candy. But yeah, I've been seeing so many people reading it on Goodreads and so many people have been loving it. I think it's just so funny. My favorite thing about Delphi is that like the guy that she's chasing is like this entertainer. Like he's like a dancer. He's like in Broadway shows, and also he's like, he poses for like an art class, and Delphi keeps on trying to chase him because she actually met him in the afterlife. But the social worker is like, oh, we made a mistake, Jonah. His name is Jonah. You're not actually really dead, so you're able to go back to life. But she had to stay in the underworld, and then she was like, okay, we can give you a second chance if you do what I ask you to say, so you have to kiss him before the 10th day, or you're gonna end up being dead. So she spends like the majority of this book chasing him, but like every time she tries to meet him, because like after she met him in the underworld, he doesn't remember her, because obviously that was in the underworld, not in real life, like when they're alive. So like obviously he doesn't know who the fuck she is in real life. So she keeps on trying to chase him and meet him, but she keeps on like running into all these awkward situations, and she keeps on missing him. So, but there's such funny things that she does, like when somebody asks her to do something, when she ends up being in the situation that Jonah's supposed to be at. Like there's like this one part where she has to go to this silent disco in order to find him, because he's like hired to be a dancer for that night. So she goes there, and, like, the person that, like, because she doesn't have tickets to get in. She, like, had no idea she was even going to be there. And the person that lets them in, they're like, oh, are you here for so-and-so? She's like, yes. They're like, we're like professional dancers. And then when they get in, you know, Delphi's like, I don't know how to fucking dance. So she is so funny. Her default dance move anytime she has to like dance for anything is the hand jive from Grease. And I just keep on picturing like the song with like, she's just like, she's just like doing that constantly. And I was laughing my ass off. And then the other one is where she had to go to this audition. And, like, the casting director was like, this is, and it just so happens to be, like, her favorite show that she loves watching. And she tries to get into this audition because she knows that Jonah is supposed to be there for, like, this callback or whatever. And she goes into the audition room, and the, you know, casting agent is like, okay, you can start your scene whenever. And she starts quoting lyrics from Will Smith's Getting Jiggy with It. It was so funny. And then there's like a part earlier in the book where she has to meet this family. I'll talk about that later because I don't need to keep on talking about it, but it's just so funny. It's just so fresh in my mind because I've just been reading this yesterday. Where she has to meet like her friend in the apartment's parents because they like befriended each other in like this whole situation. He's like a real asshole, but then they become like kind of friends in this whole thing. And he's been like helping her out, tracking Jonah down. So he's been asking her for favors because he's been helping her find this guy. So he like asked her if she could come meet his parents with him. And, you know, for some reason she was like pretending that she was a poet and all this bullshit, like saying like she was like artsy fartsy and all this shit. And they're like, oh, can you recite a poem? And I think it was lyrics to like another Will Smith song or to like this random song that she knew. And Cooper was like laughing. This is the guy that's helping her. He was laughing like in the background, and I was just laughing my ass off. She's like, yeah, like I know any poetry. It's really funny. So I've been having a great time. So I think after I finish this tonight, I think I'm just going to read that thriller book that I told you guys about, What Lies Between Us. Because I actually started listening to the audiobook today. I don't know why I didn't start listening to it yesterday because I had finished Magnolia Parks by that point. I should have just started listening to it yesterday while I was getting ready, but I didn't really think about it because I had to get ready in a rush to see Deadpool. But I'm going to finish that probably tomorrow and just binge that because I am like so intrigued about it. I said I was going to read a thriller, but I kind of wanted to read that first, but listening to the audiobook of this, I'm hooked. And the audiobook comes free with the book on Kindle Unlimited, and also the book is free to read on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm like, that's perfect. I'll finish this book before I get the last book that I need to listen to in The Boys of Tommen, because I've been listening to the audiobooks of that, and then I'll just listen to Keeping Six as soon as my credit comes in, and then I'll be able to listen to that on like the 30th. I only have like 2 days left. And then I'll be able to listen to that. Yes, I'm having some wine after work, so I deserve it. I'm literally not going anywhere. But I don't want to drink it because I have lipstick on still. But yeah, I've been listening to it and it's great. But like, since it's free on Audible, then I don't have to pay for it, obviously. And then I can just listen to that until I can listen to Boys of Tommen. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Hey, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I was supposed to see my boyfriend, but he said that he was tired from working. So I'm supposed to see him tomorrow. It's like really crappy out right now. I just threw on some makeup really quick because I actually want to go get my nails done, and I wanted to go return this Ulta conditioner. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like thundering still. It just says isolated thunderstorms, and it was supposed to stop like around this time, but of course it's still raining. It's like always like when I want to leave the house, when I have no plans or when I don't have any specific plans, that's when it doesn't stop. But so anyway, I just went into concealer today because I really didn't feel like putting on tinted moisturizer. So I just went into the Kulfi concealer in the shade Bad Batum. And then I just set my under eyes with the House Labs powder. And then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And And then for my eyeshadow, I just went into the ColourPop 1111 palette, and I just took like 3 shades. I went into Lucky Babe and just put that in the crease, and then I just put Major Change all over the lid. And then for the highlight, I just used Total Angel. I didn't even feel like going into a brow bone highlight today, so I just took those 3 shades. I really didn't feel like wearing one. And then I just went into Makeup Forever's Limitless Brown on the waterline, and then I just went into the ColourPop Act Natural Mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then for my bronzer, I just went into the ColourPop bronzer in the shade Private Party. Actually, I hadn't used that in a hot second, so I wanted to use that today. And then for my blush and my lips, I went into 2 newer products. Where the heck did I put the blush? I'm planning on filming my haul later, hopefully, because I've picked up a few things from Sephora lately and stuff from ColourPop, so I went into this blush where I've been eyeing this blush for like so long from Sephora that I finally just picked it up. So I used the Beauty Blender Bounce Blush. This is the Liquid Whip Cream Blush. My eyes went blurry for a second. That was like my contacts, so that was weird. I went into this cream blush by Beauty Blender, and it's called Playful Peach, and it's like this really pretty like orangey peach shade. And I just thought it looked nice, so I went into that, and I also really wanted to use it because I hadn't used it yet. And then for my highlight, I went into the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Enlighten, just because I don't have to think about how good these highlighters are going to look. I always know they're going to look amazing, so I just went into that. And then I just set my face with the Rare Beauty setting spray, and then I set my brows with the Essence Brow Gel. And then for my lips, I actually picked up a new shade in the Summer Fridays lip butter balms, and I just got the shade Vanilla. It is clear, but it kind of has a slight tint to it, so it's not like a completely clear balm. It kind of has a tiny hint of color to it, and that's what I like about these, is that they still have a little bit of a hint of something. Like, it just makes it look really shiny, but at the same time it kind of makes it look frosty. It's not like a completely clear lip balm. So I really like these, and I've been wanting to get another shade for a while, so I just decided to pick up this shade finally the last time I was there, which was literally like 2 days ago. So I picked up that as well. I could put this back in here. And then that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I did finish The Love of My Afterlife last night, and I thought it was really, really cute. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I still think it was adorable. I didn't quite get that 5-star feeling from it, but I still had a great time reading it. It was just a fun, fluffy, just entertaining read after I finished the Magnolia Park series. I just needed something light and fun that could make me laugh, and I just had a great time reading it. So I think I'm definitely going to read other books from her in the future. Her name is Kirsty something Greenwood, I believe. And also the cover was so adorable. But yeah, I really ended up enjoying it. And then, like I said, I was going to jump into basically listening to more of What Lies Between Us by John Mars. Now I'm on page 215. Did I just finish that? Yeah. Chapter? Yes. I'm on page 216. But what I like about, when it gives you the Audible with the Kindle Unlimited version, if you listen to it, it basically picks you up right off where you are in the book. Or if you read it and then you go back to listening to the audiobook, it'll just pick up from where you were reading it to listen to it again. So that's the thing that I like when it comes with the audiobook. I know obviously not all books can do that, because obviously the authors need to make money, so I totally understand that. But when it is available like that, I do like taking advantage of it. So Yeah, so far it's been really entertaining. I can't believe I'm already like over 200 pages in. I should finish that by tonight, hopefully. It's not like one of those thrillers where I'm like totally creeped out. It's just a very intriguing story. It's not like where I'm like scared shitless or I'm getting that really chilling feeling. I kind of wanted that, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy that it's not like that, so then I can just binge it tonight and finish it because like I've said before, I don't love reading thrillers really late at night because I get, kind of creeped out reading them sometimes. So don't always have the best experience trying to sleep. I already don't sleep well to begin with. But of course, last night was like probably the first time I passed out like right away. Even though I went to bed at like 4 a.m., I didn't want to go to bed that late, but I actually did pass out pretty fast. I think it was just because I was so tired. So I'm just waiting for this rain to lighten up because I think, like I said, I'm just going to go get my nails done and I need to exchange this shampoo for the conditioner that I want from this brand because I don't know how she ended up selling me the, I feel like my under eyes have been creasing a lot lately, so I feel like I need a little bit more powder underneath my eyes. But yeah, so I'm just going to finish that. And then probably the last book that I'll be able to finish this month, I'm just going to go right into it tomorrow. My plan was actually to read all day tomorrow, but now since I'm not seeing my boyfriend, I guess I'm going to read as much as possible today. But I'm hoping to finish this by the 31st. I probably won't finish it tomorrow now because again, I'm going to see him tomorrow, but I want to read Catherine Center's Hello Stranger, and I probably will finish it by the 31st, like just literally the last day of the month. But since, I only have 2 days left in the month, then I'm going to finish What Lies Between Us. And this book is only 313 pages, so I should be able to finish this in 2 days easily. Depends on like what my plans are Wednesday, but this will probably be the last physical book and the last book that I read this month. And then I will have hit I think my goal this month was 18 books. But then I changed it to a more realistic goal and made it 17. So after I finish this one, I will have read 17 books. So I'm still making my reading goal for this month, which is great. And then I also started making a TBR jar, like kind of TBR bin, where I wrote a bunch of prompts down on pieces of colorful paper. Because I have like this notepad full of like pink and yellow and blue and gray and beige. Gray and beige is a little bit boring, but at least there's pink, blue, and yellow. And I just wrote a bunch of prompts down to draw for my monthly TBR, and I think I'm going to do it for my birthday month in August, and I think it's going to be really fun. Obviously, you don't have to stick to every prompt for the books that you read in the month. I think I'm just going to leave soon because I'm really surprised that this rain still hasn't let up yet. It's been since like 2 o'clock and it's still raining. But I am also getting a little hungry too, so I might like get some food first and then I'll go get my nails done. But as long as I'm back by like 4:30, and I'm just going to listen to the audiobook the whole time that I'm out, so then I'll probably only have like 100 pages left by the time I get home, and then I can just bang that out tonight. So, but I'm actually glad I ended up sticking to this book today because then I don't have to worry about reading a physical book as much later. But what else was I going to say? But I think that's going to be so much fun. Usually most people stick to like 6 prompts and then, just pick it out of the jar and then see what they get. But I think it's going to be a fun time because then it'll make me, not just make me, but also really just motivate me to get to some of the books that I probably wouldn't have gotten to next month, or maybe not sooner rather than later. If I don't do this. And I've been enjoying watching people draw from TBR jars so much the past couple of days that I'm like, I really just wanted to do it. And it's just so easy to do. Like, I really wish I could wrap all my books and number them, but that's like so much work to me, and I would have to go buy like the paper and everything. This is just so much easier to just write it down on pieces of paper, cut them up, and then just put them in a jar. So it's like, then I can just go by the prompts on what I'm inspired to read next, and I think it would be really fun to do in my birthday month. I think hopefully I will finish that book tomorrow, though. I'm not sure. Or at least by Wednesday afternoon, because I think after that, I think I'm going to go right into The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because that's coming out tomorrow. And I think I just want to read that first, just so I don't have to worry about reading a new release in August, because there are also 2 other new releases that are coming out in August. But I still haven't read the first books in those series, and they are probably going to be on my TBR for next month. But I also want to read a lot of fantasy next month, because it is my birthday month, and fantasy was the whole reason why I started reading again. And also fantasy is still my favorite genre, and I just want to read a lot of fantasy during my birthday month. So, and a couple romance books and like a thriller or something. But also I just think it's going to be such a fun time. I'm so excited. But yeah, I don't know why it's still raining. So yeah, I'm kind of annoyed, but I really want to leave now, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I actually didn't even wear makeup yesterday because my plans got shot to hell. It's a long story, but whatever. So I did go out with one of my friends tonight that I haven't seen in a little while. I was actually wearing something different earlier, but it was just way too hot to wear it. I was wearing like this kimono. I think it's right there on the bed. Like literally right there. I was wearing that kimono, but it was too hot to wear it. So I changed into like this peacock printed tank top with pockets. So cute. But at least it totally went with my eye look, and I actually haven't worn this shirt in a while, and it's just so cute. So I'm glad that I wore it today. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Clarins lip oil that I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. So we actually went to I picked her up because she can't really drive long distances. So I picked her up, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, and I got a couple of books. And then I went back and got another one. So because we went to this Korean barbecue place that was literally in the same parking lot as Barnes & Noble, and I've actually been really wanting to try this place for a while. And I'm like, there's really no point of going back to her area to eat, because then we would have to wait another 20 minutes before we actually start eating. And when we go to the, like, driving 20 minutes just to get there, and we were already, like, hungry at that point. So, like, my plan was just to spend, like, 45 minutes at Barnes & Noble, and then we would go to the other place at, like, 6:30. And with Korean barbecue, it's just, you don't have to wait that long for your food. They bring it to you raw, and then they actually cook it in front of you, this place, which was actually really, really nice. And the food was so good. It was so good. And the cocktails were great. We had a couple drinks, and it was so good. So anyway, I went into the Nomad Royal Europe palette today, just because I felt like doing something more colorful. And I'm glad, like I said, with the shirt that I ended up changing into, went with the eyeshadow look, like, perfectly. So I went into Palace of Versailles in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Hall of Mirrors. And then I used Neptune Fountain on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I used Royal Orb. And then for the lid, and then for the inner corners, I went into Imperial Crown. So I used like 5 shades. I'm so full, but the food was great. We had like 4 different kinds of meats, but we had like the small portions, because if we got like the full portions, it would have been like way too much food. And then I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Charmer. And then I went into the Essence Lash Primer. Oh, I'm so tired now. And then for my mascara, I went into the Lancome Monster Big Mascara that I got from Sephora a couple of days ago. I still have to film my haul. And then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation, I went into the Lancome Taint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 120N. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer. This one right here in the shade 10NN. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay Pressed Powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Haus Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush, I went into the Lawless Cream Blush that I got a couple weeks ago at Sephora because I just wanted to use this one again. This is actually the third time I've used it, and it's just such a good blush. And this is in the shade Starburst, so I just used that. And then for my highlight, I went into, where is it? The my Tarte palette, I mean. And I went into this single highlighter from Love Luxe Beauty in the shade What Mermaids Are Made Of. Because it's like a greenish bluish one. It's just so pretty. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into... I'm like, where's my lippy? I went into the Minuteman lip liner from ColourPop. And then for my lipstick, I went into the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Naked. And that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as reading update goes, I did finish Catherine Center's Hello Stranger earlier today. I didn't make any reading updates on it yesterday because I didn't wear any makeup yesterday. So that's all I pretty much did yesterday. I did run a couple of errands. I bought a new TBR jar. And that's basically what I did. I went to Michael's and I bought this, I got this plastic jar. And then I got these bookish stickers from Michael's as well. So now this jar is just so much easier to use, and I'm so excited to use this every month now. I'm not going to start reading my prompts yet, though, until, like, the next couple of days. I have it happen one summer right on my bedstand, but I think I might actually read this on Kindle Unlimited because it actually is available there. But I think I'm going to go into a Fate Inked in Blood next, but I just wanted to say my thoughts about Hello Stranger. I absolutely loved it. I rated it 5 stars. I could not stop thinking about finishing this book. I could not stop reading it. I just loved every minute of it. There's like she's just such a great writer. And now I want to read all of her books. I'm like, how have I not gotten to her books earlier than this? But yeah, it just took me a day and a half to finish because I got up to page like 200 last night. So it was like on page 15 because I started it on Monday night. And then I got up to page 200 yesterday. And then today I just read the last like 100 pages. And I loved it. It was just so good. It's just, I'm obsessed. So I went and got another one of her books because me and my friend also went to Barnes & Noble because I told her I wanted to go there. And I ended up picking up, oh my God, can I actually fucking grab these? Oh my God, I'm sorry. Hold the phone. So I got these, fucking receipts, man. Receipts. So I got 5 books. Remember when I said I wasn't going to get that many? But I really did want to pick up this book because, I was saying to myself I was going to pick up like 2, but I ended up leaving with 5. That's like probably the last time I'm going to be at Barnes & Noble for a while, but I picked this one up because this one is actually on one of my TBR prompts for the month of August. And I just love this cover, and I didn't really love the Kindle cover. And I honestly just wanted to get it at Barnes & Noble, and now I'm just obsessed with her writing. So I picked up Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center. I think that this was one of the last books that Haley Pham actually read. And she rated it like a 4.25. Like a lot of people rate her books very highly, so I'm super excited for this. But I actually picked up these two books before I found this one. What's funny enough, but I got this one because of the pink edges, but also I am planning on reading this series probably in August because I only have 2 books to read. So I actually picked up the second book in the Belladonna series, which is Foxglove. This is a very heavy-duty paperback. It's very heavy, but it has like pretty big font. But, like, the third book is actually coming out at the end of August, so I picked it up because I want to read the first book on Kindle, and I picked it up because of the pink edges. Like, I mean, hello, it's so fucking cute. And then I also got this one. I've been thinking about reading this one anyway. It's also a national bestseller, and everybody keeps on rating this book 5 stars. Destiny Sidwell just read this and she rated it 5 stars. So I picked up Lovely War by Julie Berry. And everybody says how good this book actually is. I think it's historical fiction, but it's kind of about gods and goddesses. So I'm just like extremely intrigued by this. And everybody says it's so freaking good. So I can't wait. Very excited to read this. I think I'm going to read this in September, though. Probably, I'm hoping to get... Well, I'm definitely reading this book this month, but I'm hoping to get to the Belladonna series this month. I might read that over another series I might potentially start, but that was also part of my August prompts, but at the same time, like, there's only 2 books in the Belladonna series that I need to catch up on, so it wouldn't take that long. I also picked up the second book in the Daughter of the Pirate King duet, which is the Daughter of the Siren Queen. They changed the covers. So it's actually different than the cover that I bought, but they kept it the same price. I also did not realize that this same author wrote The Shadows Between Us, which I just picked up those 2 books at Target. So she's like a big selling author, and they probably put New York Times bestselling author because The Shadows Between Us and the new one that came out in that series are both sitting on the New York Times YA bestseller list for like weeks at this point. So I'm very excited to read this. I picked up Daughter of the Pirate King like 2 months ago, and I really do want to read this probably next month. I'm not going to get to it this month, but I really wanted to pick up the duology because I've heard such great things about it. And then this one was an impulse buy. I bought it just because I was buying my friend a book when we were there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this for you because she paid more tip than I did at dinner. So I'm like, I'm buying you a book. So I just picked up Ali Hazelwood's Love on the Brain. I still haven't read Love Hypothesis or Love Theoretically, but I keep on eyeing this book every time that I go to Target. So I ended up paying, this was actually it was $17. The most expensive paperback and the most expensive book I got was this one. This was $18, but the other ones were all under $15. Even Lovely War was $13.99. And this one was $12.99 with the sprayed edges. And this one was $12.99. So why were the other 2 so... I swear, the romance books are so expensive at Barnes & Noble, but whatever. I love Catherine Center, so I was willing to pay more for her book. But Ali Hazelwood, I've been having, like, really bad luck with her books, but Haley Pham also rated this book 5 stars, and people say that this like these STEM romance books by Aldi Hazelwood are better than her other books. So we'll see. So that's it. Bye. Taped the clip to tell you guys what my makeup look was, and it literally didn't even record. So now I have to go in and say it again. I'm not doing it a third time. So I primed with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I used the Clarins Lip Oil, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I used the ColourPop Snow White palette, and I just went into Someday and True Love, and then I went into With a Smile on the brow bone, and then I went into Ever After on the inner corners, and that's all I used today because I just went to the beach earlier with my friend, so I didn't need anything crazy. I just ripped my makeup off when I came home because I'm just way too tired. And then I went into Makeup Forever liner in the shade Limitless Brown, and then I went into the ColourPop Act Natural mascara on the top and bottom lashes, and then I primed my face with the Do It spray and the Say Star Glow Super Gel primer, and then for my tinted moisturizer and concealer, I just went into the same combo as yesterday, which is the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30 tinted sunscreen in the shade Fairfax, and the coinciding concealer in the shade BH. And then I set my under eyes with the House Labs powder, and then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder, and then I went into the Milani Dolce bronzer to bronze up my skin. And then for my blush and highlight, I went into the Snow White blush by ColourPop in the shade I Wish I Wish, and then the ColourPop Small World Super Shock highlighter in the shade Jubilant Chorus. And then I set my face with the Rare Beauty spray, and then I set my brows with, I didn't even set my brows today because I couldn't even be bothered, so I just brushed them through with a spoolie. And then for my lips, I just went into the Summer Fridays lip balm in the shade Vanilla Beige because, you know, I just wanted something super easy for the beach, and it was perfect. And that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading Of Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I got up to page 149, so I got like 100 pages in from where I was yesterday. I really wanted to get further yesterday, but I kept on falling asleep. But I did read like 100 pages, so it's not bad. And I am loving this so far. I think it's so good. It's just so easy to get into. It's such good action, just like really good fast-paced romantasy. There's not that much world building in this, but honestly, with romantasy, I don't really expect it to be too world building. Like, as long as there's, like, some magic, but also, like, I'm really loving the main character, Freya. I think she's great. It's just so good. And, like, she doesn't waste any time, like, with the internal dialogue. There's, like, a paragraph of something that she needs to describe, and then all of a sudden, like, we're back into the action. And I just love when authors just don't take too long like describing something. Like sometimes like in certain fantasies or books, like they just go into way too much detail with the internal dialogue. I'm like, can we just get like to the story? And this is just so good for that. I can understand why this was voted one of the best romantasies on Goodreads this year, because it is so good. I'm eating it up. So yeah, I'm just loving it so far. So yeah, that's it. Bye.